Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording on Thursday, November 7th, and we're talking about the Celtics loss to the Warriors because it's rare that we get to talk about a Celtics loss.
We're
Funny
gonna
as it sounds,
cook this one.
I enjoy talking about losses more because it gets so boring talking about the wins because the Celtics are so methodical and I mean there is a truth to the I don't want to say to the Nick Wright point because I think that's an extreme of the view that I'm talking about, but like the Celtics being boring, I can like I understand why non Boston fans think the Celtics are boring because it is just a very methodical. I don't want to say one prong, but they have a way they win. They know it works and they do it really well. So they win a lot of games versus like quote unquote fun teams are the ones who might not necessarily be like the most dominant, but they have such a volatile floor and ceiling that you don't really know what you're going to get, which makes it more fun from purely an entertainment perspective. But from a basketball perspective, the Celtics are a very fun team. That's not what I'm trying to say. Anyways, the Warriors game. Our good friend Bobby Koritsky put something on Twitter that sort of sparked this idea, so we'll credit him. Shout out Bobby Koritsky. You guys can follow him on Twitter at Bobby Koritsky. It's on the screen here. He said, sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. Jason Tatum had 14 potential assists against the Warriors. Barrage of good looks didn't go down and would have had people celebrating his, quote, revenge game against Kerr. He still finished with 32 points. In the context of it, he had 14 potential assists and only 2 assists. So that means 12 potential assists did not fall. And so I was doing a little digging of my own. And I found that the Celtics let me see, how many threes did the Celtics attempt? I think they attempted 54 threes against the Warriors. 20 of them were wide open, meaning there was not a defender 6+ feet. The furthest defender was 6+ feet away from them, and they made 5 of them. So they shot 25% on threes where the defender was 6+ feet away from them. Let me double check the math here just so I have it in front of me. But so far this season, if excuse me, you couldn't tell, the Celtics are shooting pretty good on threes where the closest defender is quote unquote wide open, which again is 6+ feet away. In fact, the Celtics this season on those shots are shooting 38.9%. So they shot 14% less than they normally do. If they had shot 39% on the 20 attempts, that would be 0.39 times 20. That is roughly 7.8 makes to the 5. So add 2 to 3 more threes. It's a completely different ballgame. Again, we're talking about luck. We're talking about just the volatility of making or missing shots. And obviously the offensive rebounds were a bit unlucky. We can look at those too. But I think just before we get killed, the important thing is like, the Warriors have to force the bad luck to a degree. Like the Warriors played a defense that forced the Celtics to get unlucky, and they forced a defense where the Celtics had to send help, and then they were able to get unlucky in this rebound. So this isn't meant to be the Warriors had no chance to beat the Celtics. It was all luck. This is the Celtics could have won this game had the luck bounced a bit more in their favor.
Had they played a normal 3-point shooting game, they would have won. I really feel like watching it that Tatum did a great job handling the double team that came from Golden State. After the game, when I was looking through the box score and just kind of like thinking about what I was going to write, it was really surprising to only see the 2 assists there, because if you didn't watch or you didn't pay attention super like closely, Steve Kerr said, fuck this. Jason Tatum is not getting any open, easy looks. And, not having Jalen in the game does make that a lot easier for Golden State to do. 2 guys right away. Drew wide open. Doesn't hit. And it was a whole lot of that coming. Yes, it just the rest of the game, in and out. Brutal miss from Horford. Unlucky. Horford again. Wide open.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all shots that these guys make almost every time, it feels like.
Yeah. And this is Bobby's tweet again. You can go follow Bobby Koritsky on Twitter. You see him enough on the channel if you watch our videos. But Tatum was just creating open look after open look, and the Celtics could not catch a break in that regard. Again, they shot 5 of 20 on wide open threes. You're bound to get unlucky shooting nights. That is the volatility of a 3-point shot. And again, like we said on the recap last night, the Celtics lost this game by 6. it was a lot closer than that. It came down to free throws. They missed a three, so the Warriors got 2 more free throws. It was really a 2-point game. Then it was really a 4-point game. Then it was really a 6-point game because they kept fouling, kept trying to get back in it. But I mean, we can even look before we even get to the offensive rebounds. I have all of their 3-point attempts. We're not going to watch all 54 of them, obviously.
Oh yeah.
A quick look, like we just watched Jason Tatum, the first play of the game, wide open 3 for Drew Holiday. Again, Jason Tatum again, ball in their hand, immediately doubles Al Horford, wide open 3. Make that one. Jason Tatum gets a jump shot. That's the pull up. It's hard to like decipher which one's a pull up versus which one's not based on the description, but I'm just going based on the misses. Al Horford here, maybe a little bit out of rhythm, but it's not necessarily a contested shot. This one, Sam Hauser. This is as wide open a shot as Sam Hauser will ever get in his career.
Correct.
Like Luke Cornett steals him off, and it just, doesn't fall. That's probably one of the wide open ones. Peyton Pritchard here. Tatum ball in his hands again. Create space. Pritchard blocked. Credit Gary Payton on that one, but like over and over again, especially in the fourth quarter when they got 4 shots at the end of the game and they finished 2 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2 of 9 to end the game. We can watch those as I talk. Like sometimes shots just don't fall. That doesn't mean they're necessarily bad shots. Some of them are like Derek White, where he, was hot all game. He was 6 of 13, I think, in this one. So you just trust them to take those types of shots and see what happens. Some of them are Peyton Pritchard pull-ups, and we've seen him make that shot a million times. But the Celtics are just a team that is going to take a ton of threes. And I don't think the problem in this one was the process. That's a wide open 3 for Derek White that finally goes in. I think it was just the results. And I'm going to ask Joe at one point this season. I've determined I just need to find the right moment. I do wonder if they treat stuff like this like an error in baseball in a way, like, an unearned run.
Mm.
Like if you treat the process like the earned runs versus like, I wonder if that's something he's ever brought up or like, I don't know, that part of things intrigues me because I feel like it's, I don't want to say a relatively new thing in the world of basketball, but it's definitely not something that Phil Jackson was preaching when those teams won the title. So it is interesting to think about.
Yeah. I mean, when you play a 3-point heavy style like the Celtics, one, your offense is much more volatile. It can be very good, very bad. It also becomes a play style where you have more room for error. Just based on percentages and math, like you only have to make 43 or what is it, 33 threes out of 100 to match making 52s. Like that's 17 extra possessions. You could technically come up with nothing and still score 1 less point. I guess you make 34 threes, you win. So we'll go with 34. That's fine. I mean, the Celtics are a team that plays great team ball. They've done a great job of moving the ball, including yesterday. One thing that really bothered me in particular last year and in years past is it felt like the ball would stick a lot when things got tight. Didn't happen yesterday. Even towards the end of the game, you saw the clip of Tatum driving, kicking to Horford in the corner. Good shot, unlucky miss. Derek White gets one on the wing where he had just made like probably 2 or 3 in a row. Unlucky miss. They were just creating good shots and they didn't really get them to fall in the way that they would have liked. That's what you have to live with at times. And is it an error in baseball? I don't know. It might be closer to an at bat in baseball where it's just like just percentage wise, like a really good hitter in baseball will bat 300, 330.
Well, even like
Three-point shooting is a little bit more impressive.
the way I maybe I was mispresenting where my question came from. I first thought of that question when Joe was talking about how transition points were scored a lot because they missed layups and they missed threes, so the other team was able to get out in transition, and that is like them committing an error and their team scoring a run on the other end. So that is more where my thought process came through. But Celtics didn't just get unlucky, quote unquote, by missing open threes. They also got, again, quote unquote, unlucky by giving up a ton of offensive rebounds. And I only brought up the ones in the last 5 minutes. Obviously, there was one at the end of the half as well. There were some scattered throughout, but they gave up 4 offensive rebounds in the last 5 minutes of the game in a 1-possession game pretty much throughout. And that's kind of, I don't want to say where they lost it, but it's kind of where they lost it. Curry 3 here. This is on Tatum. You got to box out. Like this is not anything to do with luck. This is him not boxing out Kevon Looney. That's all that is. Now, the bounce afterwards might be a little bit unlucky if you want to count it that, but this is a hustle play. That's not as much luck. But we'll get to the luck, trust me. Nimi guarding Steph Curry, kicks it out to Draymond, completely airballs and falls to Kevin Looney. Like, maybe you want to call that a hustle, but he missed the entire rim and it fell in his hands.
Typically when NBA players shoots, including Draymond, you
Even
do
Draymond,
expect
yeah.
it to hit something.
Mhm.
That's where they went wrong. Ass out of you and me if you assume it's going to hit the rim.
This
And
was
you see a great example.
This was the only possible place the ball could have gone to get in the Warriors' hands. Look at how many Celtics are under the rim, and even over the rim if it bounced over that way. Only place it could have gone. And it went there. So it is what it is. That's tough. Excuse me. Then there was this with 1:30 left and Boston down 2. Gets by Drew Holiday. Finally gets up a 3. Bounces all the way back over. Just over every single Celtic. And I think this is why 3-point shooting almost gives teams an advantage on the offensive glass because it's so hard to predict. Nimi probably shouldn't have pressed in so far. He probably should have gone level to where Derek White was. So if you really want to nitpick, you can say Nimi made a little bit of a mistake here because like Al has it down here, Tatum's over here, so you don't really need to get in the restricted area there. You should probably stay out here. But again, that's just nitpicking. This ball went again to one of 2 places the Warriors could have gotten it. And then the real unlucky one of the night, which everyone talked about, was this play. Steph Curry, it's on the same possession. So we're going to watch that again. Steph Curry gets to the rim. Jason Tatum sends him packing, and the ball just goes right to Steph Curry off the block. It's tough, man. Sometimes the ball doesn't break your way. Sometimes you miss your open threes. Sometimes you do everything you can possibly do right, and it still doesn't happen. Like that. That's just how basketball works. That's how a lot of sports work. Like you can have the wide open shot in soccer and it hits the goalpost. You can have a wide open touchdown and the wide receiver drops it. Like that's what it is. So did the Celtics get unlucky against the Warriors? Probably, yeah, based on the math for sure. But does that mean the Warriors didn't earn the win? No, they played a great game. They had a great scheme. They had a great game plan defensively. But it happens. That's why it's an 82-game season and not a 1-game season.
Yeah, I mean, when they win a championship, it's one of those things you just kind of look at games like this and you just go, what are you going to do? Happens. Sucks. Not what you want. I would have loved them to not lose games at home. I love when they make that a real storyline where it's really hard to come in the Garden and win. They won 2 games before they dropped one this year. A little different than the 20 that they ripped off to start last season.
Yeah. For what it's worth, 7-2 is still on pace to go exactly 64-18. So no need to panic.
It's time for them to stop embarrassing all of us.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let us know what you think down in the comments. If a Warriors fan found this, breathe. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment. Tell us what you thought of this one. I'm sure you loved it. You can also hit the bell because Jack and I are here with new stuff every morning. We have full pods Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, game recaps morning after each game, and other videos like this one in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. We also are on Spotify and Apple, so if you give us a follow on those places, you will get the pods and game recaps right to your feed. Pretty good deal. You can also email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We love to hear from you guys. We read your emails on every single pod, so get them in, hbtcpod@gmail.com. The socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's just the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at JacksMoneNBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance, and that's it for us.
Tic-tac-toe.